Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. For my today's drawing, today I will be using a fountain pen that is actually one of my favorites as well. The PenBBS 267 in case you haven't figured it out yet from the name of the video. In case you're new here, I also have to mention that this style of fountain pen it's actually one of my favorite fountain pens, a desk fountain pen, also called a feather fountain pen in some parts of the world, or brush fountain pen, even though the name could be a little bit ambiguous. The build quality of the fountain pen is actually very good. It is, as far as I can tell, cast resin material, pretty well executed. I have three versions of this specific fountain pen. I have a white version, I have an orange and black version, and this one that you see right now. This one in particular, I haven't got a chance to use it, but since I'm making the video for today, I thought it was a good opportunity to actually take it out and play with. As mentioned, the construction of the fountain pen is very simple, well executed. Very few components, is very minimalistic, pretty much what I like a lot about this type of fountain pen. Hint hint, that's how my own fountain pens are built or similar to it. No clip, just a cap that you turn to remove, and then a barrel that again you'll have to turn and remove. The fountain pen does come with a converter included and an O-ring on the section. As such, if you really want to, you can remove the converter, put some silicone grease on the section and then fill up the barrel with your favorite ink. And that should give you quite a larger capacity of ink that the pen can hold if you're only using a converter. Now the funny part of the fountain pen for today is that, like I mentioned, I never really used it. And this one in particular, this fountain pen, is one of the very few fountain pens that comes from PenBBS, but I usually have nothing negative to say about it. I personally like it as is, and the other two versions that I used, I never had any issues with it. However, as well, I guess you would have it, this one in particular actually had issues with the writing. So the nib at a closer inspection looks like it had a little bit of a baby's bottom, and I had to work a little bit on it and polish that nib and get rid of the baby's bottom. So as you see me doing the writing sample, I did have some skipping issues, and the ink only started pouring a little bit better after I was pressing on the pen, hence baby's bottom. Usually that's the issue. If you have to press a little bit harder to get it writing, that means that your tines ends are a little bit rounded off and they don't make a good contact with the page. At least the slit portion where it's supposed to rest on the page. This is not particular to these fountain pens, or better said to these nibs from PenBBS. I don't think I ever had any issues with their nibs up until today, so I would say this is the exception from the rule. While I might have had some unfavorable mentions on some of their fountain pens, I never had a complaint on their nibs. And like I mentioned, this was the first one that I had issues with. I fixed the nib after I did the writing sample. I used it as it was just so you can see the issues that I have with it. I didn't think it was nice to hide it and redo the writing sample. However, after I was done with the writing sample, I did, like I mentioned, polish the nib. I started with 3000 grit and then work my way up to 12,000 grit, and after I was done, the flow of the ink was actually perfect, exactly what I needed it, and I had no more issues afterwards. In my perspective, the fix was fairly easy. With the issue aside, but the fountain pen in essence writes actually very good, and I love the balance of it. Like I mentioned, these style of fountain pens are one of my favorites. And I have no complaints about it. The balance is very good, very pleasant to use, and a lot of hand positions as I move my hand up and down the body of the pen. Also worth mentioning, the step up from the section to the barrel, it's actually pleasant, very well polished and very well rounded off. Again, no issues with the actual pen itself. I guess the only inconvenience that you might have is that if you like to post your pen, it won't really work with this type of fountain pen because the end is very thin and the cap won't be able to actually sit on the barrel. I mean, you can put it there, but it will only wiggle around and probably will get annoying after a while. The good thing about it is though the pen, it's actually very lengthy, and I doubt, no matter what hand size you might have, that you'll ever have an issue with holding the pen. I guess the only thing you have to be aware of is where you put the cap and make sure you don't lose it, or it won't roll off the desk and hit the hard floor and break or something like that. And I forgot to mention the ink for today. It's actually coming from Diamine, the Earl Grey ink. I used recently this ink in my sketchbook that I'm carrying around, and basically it's the sketchbook that has the tone paper of the paper that I'm using right now. And I really liked how the color was looking on that paper. It has a very nice warmish gray effect to it, almost like a dark gray pencil. And I was curious to see how it will react with this off-white paper. The effect is not as strong as on the other paper, but still fairly pleasant. I think maybe one of these days in a future drawing, I will go back to the tone paper only to show the way this Earl Grey ink looks on the tone paper. I really like it. I think I will be using that ink a lot on the tone paper. Going back to my drawing today, same paper, untone, off-white, no ideas, no plan. I just started scribbling a little bit towards one of the, actually more like in the middle of the page if I remember correctly, and slowly build up from there. As soon as I seen the opportunity to add an eye or what looks like an eye, I definitely added in there, and then just slowly building around it. I think as I was drawing originally, I went with the idea to go again on the diagonal, but this time going from the top left side down to the bottom right side. As I was doing the drawing, a lot of things was going into my mind and I was trying to figure out which way to go with it, and eventually I fought the impulse of me trying to take over the drawing and go in a specific direction, and me just letting my mind and my hand do the work without me actually thinking about it. So again, I was in here just for the ride and being mesmerized by what Disney was putting on the page, and enjoying the process for it. What I end up with, it's again some sort of a creature that looks like a tree or plant kind of a creature that, I don't know, it's either floating or jumping, and you almost see two creatures in it. One of them is basically the big eye with a big mouth and some spiky tooth in here and there. Or if you look closely, the upper part of what I would perceive as the mouth is maybe the arm, and the lower part is maybe the leg with a very long tail. Almost like a gecko kind of a creature with the mouth barely visible just under the eye. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about, but depending how I look at it, I actually see two creatures, not one. So it's kind of your choice. You see what you want. The drawing didn't took me too long, took about 2 hours to complete. Fairly simple. I just built up slowly the layers, and towards the end it felt like it was missing something, so I started to add these longer strokes coming out of the, I guess, what we would consider its head. And then slowly it kind of became like a branch or a leaf that this creature was wearing it as a hat. And I thought that was kind of funny, and I liked it, and I don't mind that I kept on scribbling around the head, eventually getting that branch-like, leaf-like hat on its head. So again, the drawing for today was very pleasant. I really enjoyed the process, and I really liked the result. As for the fountain pen, worked like a treat. Worked exactly as I wanted it, especially in the combination with the ink that I have for today. When I was barely gliding above the page, it was barely leaving any marks. I don't know if the camera captured the beginning or how I started. I know the lines were very faint, and on the tiny screen of the camera I could barely see the lines. I haven't actually looked at basically at the full screen version of this video, but I think you can some sort of see the lines. They're just very faint, which allow me to do a lot of layering, and hopefully I was able to build some nice dimension to this creature. Bottom line, I love the fountain pen. This was another fun drawing that I actually really enjoy working with. No fatigue on my hand. Again, one of my favorite style fountain pens. I doubt I ever found a desk style fountain pen that I was unhappy with. I mean, this one had the issues with the nib, but again, considering that all the other PenBBS fountain pens that I have never had any issues with their nibs, I would consider this an exception and not the actual rule. You can still find these fountain pens on the market. You don't have as many colors or as many pattern colors choices anymore, but there's still a few of them around if you're curious to grab one or two. And the price, I think nowadays it's actually pretty decent. I personally definitely recommend it. No real complaints about it. Another fun drawing that I really loved, not to jinx myself, but this is the 4th week in a row that I actually got a drawing that I really enjoyed, and I don't really complain about it. Let them keep on coming, I don't mind. Yeah, I guess I'll stop here for today. I hope you enjoyed my little scribble, and I hope you like these type of fountain pens, and if you do have it, please feel free to share your opinion below on what you think of them and if you recommend them, or if you ever had any issues with their nibs. Anyway, with that said, this is it for today. My name is Eugen. I thank you very much for joining me today and for lasting until the end of the video. Let's hope that basically this streak of drawings that I enjoy making and I actually enjoy how they end up with will continue. Anyway, rambling again, obviously, like always. So I'll stop here. Thank you very kindly for joining me today. And I wish you nothing but a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.